Hi there, my name is Cameron Fuhr, and the systems problem I'll be looking at is the Oriental Bittersweet infestation in Minnesota. I'll start off with some background. Oriental Bittersweet is a species of woody vine that was brought to the United States from China in the 1860s and was used to help control rates of soil erosion. Since it is a vine, it requires plants or trees to climb on in order for it to grow. Oriental Bittersweet was classified as an invasive species in 1974 because it was able to outcompete native plants, starve them of nutrients, and eventually strangle them to death. In this picture, you can actually see the bittersweet wrapping tightly around a tree branch and strangling it. Here's a map of the Oriental Bittersweet distribution in the United States. It was originally brought to the East Coast and has been gradually spreading westward since. The infestation here in southern Minnesota is one of the most severe in the entire country, with over 14,000 positive identifications. Some of the effects of this infestation are reduced growth rates for other plants, the loss of native species and biodiversity, and the creation of a monoculture, making the ecosystem much more susceptible to disease. Moving on to my system model, I started by listing some relevant stocks. Firstly, the Oriental Bittersweet population, then the population of other plants and trees, and lastly, the population of birds and other small mammals. For the flows in this system, I began by putting the natural growth and death rates for each population. Then I added the import of Oriental Bittersweet to the United States. Bittersweet works to kill other plants, so I added that as an outflow from the plants and trees population. Small animals use bittersweet as a food source, so I put that as an outflow from the bittersweet population and an inflow to the small animal population. The small animals eventually excrete bittersweet seeds and spread them to new areas, so I put that down as an outflow from the small animal population and an inflow to the bittersweet population. Then I added converters to some of the flows in this system. The rate of bittersweet growth is dependent on the population of other plants and trees, since the bittersweet cannot survive without other plants to support it. The rate of plant and tree growths, as well as their deaths, are dependent on bittersweet population. A larger bittersweet population means a lower growth rate and a higher death rate. The spread of bittersweet seeds is dependent on the small animal population, as they're the primary way that bittersweet spreads to new areas. There are many things that can be done to try and change the system for the better. One that's already been done is preventing the import of bittersweet to the US. Another thing that can be done is manually removing Oriental Bittersweet from an area. The effectiveness of this would be directly dependent on the number of people working on it. Along with removing bittersweet, working to add more native plants to the system will increase their population and increase their biodiversity. A good plan for the future is to combine mitigation efforts that are ongoing with work to eradicate bittersweet in areas that it is spread to, as well as educating the public on the severity of this issue. Here are my references. Thank you very much.